Happy Easter, y'all! So today I'm going to show you how to make Easter rolls. So what you're going to need is some butter, some crescent rolls, a plate, melted butter, and some cinnamon and sugar, marshmallows, and a pan with foil. So first things first, you're going to grab your crescent roll.
What do you preheat the oven to?
And you're going to preheat your oven to 375.
You're doing good.
And so what you're going to do is you're going to take your crescent roll. They come in little triangles. You're going to lay it down on your spare plate. Just going to smooth it out. And you're going to grab one of your marshmallows. You're going to scoop out the middle. And you're going to place it in the middle. And then you're going to take this first top corner. You're going to fold it over the marshmallow. Then you're going to take this other corner, pinch it here, fold it over to one side. You're going to fold this over and push it down on the top. Then you're just going to fold these like that. And now you're going to take the big top and just fold it over and around like this. And you're just going to pinch all these little holes just like this. Pinch any little cracks and little holes that you can see the marshmallow. You want to make sure you can't see your marshmallow. So you're just going to take your fingers and go over the cracks to smooth them out. And now you're going to go melt your butter. And mine got a little set. You can set up a bit more. So now you're just going to get a brush and just brush it on an even amount of butter. Just like this. So then you're going to grab your cinnamon and sugar mix. And you're just going to plop it in. And you're just going to roll it in with your hand. Just roll it around. Just like this. And you're just going to hold it and dab it on the sides. Like this. And you're just going to put it on your pan. And you're just going to repeat the same exact process. Just take down, grab your marshmallow, put it in the middle, and fold. Start your folding. This one needs to be stretched. And if they need to be pressed down if they're a little too small, because we made some that were a little too small, that's okay. You can, yeah, it's okay if you have to, like pinch them a little bit. That is just fine. Don't think that that's not okay. That's fine. You're just going to do the same exact thing. Pinch. Now let's get my butter on. Quickly before this sets up back to normal butter. It's just like paste now. It's gonna get a way more heavier amount on here. Oh, an accident, but it'll be okay. Now you're just going to look at the cinnamon mix. Just like this. Make sure all of it's covered with cinnamon. And you're going to place it right near your other one.
Good job. And we made the other ones earlier.
Yeah, so like you guys don't have to wait, but we made some in here. They're turning out kind of good.
Yeah, they look good. We got like 2 more minutes for those to cook. And then we're going to put these in to bake. And they should be ready by the time we finish our story that we're going to read. I don't even know if you guys can see me. Can you see me, Gracie? Go up in there.
No, you can't see your head.
Can't see my head. That's fine. Don't touch me. You can come back over here where they can see you. We have a minute left. I hope you guys had a great Easter.
For the Easter Bunny gave me.
Tell them always celebrate Easter.
The reason we celebrate Easter is because of Jesus' resurrection. I cannot talk.
It's Jesus' resurrection. He rose today so that we can live.
I think it's been 2 minutes.
We have like 20 seconds, and then we're going to take those out, and we're going to put the other tombs in, and have a yummy surprise after our story.
16,
Cannot wait.
15, 14.
I'm going to get my
13,
towel.
12, 11, 10, 9.
Do you know the name of the story, Gracie, that we're reading?
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Those are ready.
1.
Let's put these in.
They are ready.
Good job, baby.
Mom, what's that little goo?
That's a little more story. So we're going to bake those for
About
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Well, I don't know what I just did. Bake. 375 start. Timer. 10 minutes. Start. There we go. Now,
Weirder than gloves.
whew, we are going to go outside, so close your eyes because it's fixing to get blurry because you're fixing to start moving. Okay? Gracie, get the door. See, there's my kitchen. There's my porch and my pond. Now, see if I can remember where we set this.
Eat my cinnamon.
I think there maybe.
Yeah, but then you can't see me.
I need to see you. We're going to put these here cool so we can enjoy them when we are done. Okay?
Can you see me?
Now, go look and see in the camera for me. The tale of 3 trees. Don't wiggle it, please, to make everybody see it. How's that? So we're doing the tale of 3 trees. This is a traditional folk tale. Folk tale is a story that a long time ago people would tell their children and their grandchildren. They would grow up and tell their children, and they would grow up and tell their children, and it would pass down through the generations. Some of you have studied folk tales in school. It's not like a fairy tale, but it is similar. It's retold by Angela Elwell Hunt, and the illustrations are by Tim Jones. I said their name wrong, so I am very sorry. I hope that you enjoy this book like I have. So, once upon a mountaintop, 3 little trees stood and dreamed of what they wanted to become when they grew up.
I'm going to make sure you see it. Yeah, you can see it.
The first little tree looked up at the stars twinkling like diamonds above him. I want to hold treasure, he said. I want to be covered with gold and filled with precious stones. I will be the most beautiful treasure chest in the world.
Yeah, we can see it.
Sit down, Gracie. Please. Thank you. The second little tree looked out at the small stream trickling by on its way to the ocean. I want to be a strong sailing ship, he said. I want to travel mighty waters and carry powerful kings. I will be the strongest ship in the world. The third little tree looked down into the valley below, where busy men and busy women worked in a busy town. I don't want to leave this mountaintop at all, she said. I want to grow so tall that when people stop to look at me, they will raise their eyes to heaven and think of God. I will be the tallest tree in the world. So she wanted everyone to think of God when she saw her. The second tree wanted to carry great kings and be the strongest ship to sail the waters. And the first tree wanted to be a treasure box to carry the most valuable treasure in the world. I wonder if their dreams come true. I wonder if it turns out the way they think it's going to.
Will I help?
Years passed. The rains came, the sun shone, and the little trees grew tall. One day, 3 woodcutters climbed the mountain. The first woodcutter looked at the first tree and said, "This tree is beautiful. It is perfect for me." With a sweep of his shining axe, the first tree fell. "Now I shall be made into a beautiful chest," thought the first tree. "I shall hold wonderful treasure." The second woodcutter looked at the second tree and said, "This tree is strong. It is perfect for me." With a swoop of his shining axe, the second tree fell. "Now I shall sail mighty waters," thought the second tree. "I shall be a strong ship, fit for kings." The third tree felt her heart sink when the last woodcutter looked her way. She stood straight and tall and pointed bravely to heaven. But the woodcutter never even looked up. "Any kind of tree will do for me," he muttered. With a swoop of his shining axe, the third tree fell.
The third tree didn't get what she wanted.
We don't know the first two got what they wanted either. It doesn't say what they're going to do with her. It just says they cut it down. The first tree rejoiced when the woodcutter brought him to a carpenter's shop. But the busy carpenter was not thinking about treasure chests. Instead, his work-worn hands fashioned the tree into a feed box for animals. The once beautiful tree was not covered with gold or filled with treasure. He was coated with sawdust and filled with hay for hungry farm animals. The second tree smiled when the woodcutter took him to a shipyard, but no mighty sailing ships were being made that day. Instead, the once strong tree was hammered and sawed into a simple fishing boat, too small and too weak to sail an ocean or even a river. He was taken to a little lake. Every day, he brought in loads of dead, smelly fish. Well, he's not going to be sailing the ocean because he's not strong enough. The first tree is not going to be carrying the treasures that he thought he would be carrying either. Let's see what the third tree was going to happen to her. The third tree was confused when the woodcutter cut her into strong beams and left her in a lumberyard. What happened? The once tall tree wondered. All I ever wanted to do was stay on the mountaintop and point to God. Many, many days and nights passed. The three trees nearly forgot their dreams. But one night, golden starlight poured over the first tree as a young woman placed her newborn baby in the feed box. I wish I could make a cradle for him, her husband whispered. The mother squeezed his hand and smiled as the starlight shone on the smooth and sturdy wood. This manger is beautiful, she said, and suddenly the first tree knew he was holding the greatest treasure in the world. We're going to wait. Pastor James is driving the tractor by. I'm sorry.
Our dog's going crazy.
Bless his heart. Okay. One evening, a tired traveler and his friends crowded into the old fishing boat. The traveler fell asleep as the second tree quietly sailed out into the lake. Soon a thundering and thrashing storm arose. The little tree shuddered. He knew he did not have the strength to carry so many passengers safely through the wind and the rain. The tired man awakened. He stood up, stretched out his hand, and said, "Peace." The storm stopped as quickly as it had begun. And suddenly, the second tree knew he was carrying the King of heaven and earth. Would you go speak to your father, please? I don't know if I showed you the picture. Here, that's the second tree. One Friday morning, the third tree was startled when her beams were yanked from the forgotten woodpile. She flinched as she was carried through an angry, jeering crowd. She shuddered when soldiers nailed a man's hands to her. She felt ugly and harsh and cruel. But on Sunday morning, when the sun rose and the earth trembled with joy beneath her, the third tree knew that God's love had changed everything. It had made the first tree beautiful. It had made the second tree strong. And every time people thought of the third tree, they would think of God. So the first tree did hold the most important treasure this earth has ever known. It held baby Jesus. The second tree, the second tree is the most special boat in the world. He carried the mightiest king ever because he carried Jesus. And the third tree held our king as he was crucified on the cross to save us from our sins. That was better than being the tallest tree in the world. Now, let's look
at our Easter buns.
Look at that.
Can I pick one up?
Let's see if you can see it in the camera really quick. And then you can come eat one with me.
Don't bite it until I come. Yeah, you can see it.
Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? Such a beautiful bun.
Oh my gosh, Mom, look.
I know it. I can't wait to break it apart.
The marshmallows came out.
Oh, look at that marshmallow. Oh my goodness. Guess what, guys? Guess what? Guess what? Our roll is empty. What else was empty on Easter morning?
The tomb.
The tomb that they laid Jesus in was empty. Just like this roll. How about that? Delicious. Happy Easter, guys. Remember Jesus today. Remember him every day, but be especially thankful today. Bye.
Bye.